Make no mistake about it, my friends. Am I a Canadian dude who is ticked off with the fact that Canada lost the gold medal game to the USA? Absolutely. I am not going to shy away from the fact that I am disappointed as all hell. But at the same time, we need to be critical of Team Canada. And we can be critical on the man who wore the C in this gold medal game. It was Papi versus McDavid. Connor McJesus going out there replacing Sidney Crosby as captain because, as per the IIHF rules, you need to have a captain on the ice and you're not allowed to not have one. It's not the NHL. You can't be the Arizona Coyotes. You can't be the Vancouver Canucks. You can't have no captain. You need a captain. It's in the rule book. That's why Crosby had the C on his jersey. And then a few games later, McDavid had the C on his. Now, here's the thing. Connor McDavid and his legacy has taken quite a hit from today's game. And I'm not going to pretend that it's not happening here, folks, because Connor McDavid had himself a reasonably good Olympic Games. 13 points, 6 games total. If you head over to the entire point race of the tourney, he was number 1 in overall points and number 1 in points per game. He's the only guy who was at 2 points a game in the tourney, and he, of course, ended up winning himself the Olympic Best Forward and Most Valuable Player award. Now, as tweeted out by Frank Saravelli, you might be going out there and saying, wait a minute, how did McDavid win the most valuable player for the Olympics? Connor Hellebuyck was right there. Connor Hellebuyck stole the game for Team USA. And that is absolutely the case. But, as we had mentioned, via Frank Saravelli, it turns out that the voting deadline for the MVP of the Olympics was the end of the first period. So, from that, it becomes a lot more obvious why Connor McDavid was given the MVP award, even though I think if you had to ask anybody who had watched the Olympics and the tourney and the games and everything, hey, who was the most valuable player in the Olympic Games, you would probably say Connor Hellebuyck, especially after that gold medal game. In fact, all the replies on this tweet are going out there and saying, wait a minute, what? People's MVP? Always the bridesmaid? That's a joke. Hellebuyck clearly the MVP. So obviously this is a pretty big idea. But I like this tweet right here. Dive Bar Solly said that Connor McDavid is going to end his career with the record for the most MVPs won while on the losing side. Where exactly is that coming from? Well, here's a tweet from Hockey Insider. Connor McDavid's impressive playoff trophy case includes the 2012 OHL Cup MVP, the 2015 OHL Playoff MVP, the 2024 Conn Smythe, and the 2026 Olympic MVP. In all 4 of these competitions, his team lost. Connor McDavid is not just the greatest hockey player on earth today. He is also arguably the biggest loser hockey has seen in this generation. And I know I am saying that about a guy who has won 5 Art Ross trophies. He has won a Conn Smythe. He has won 4 Ted Lindsays, and he has won 3 Harts. He has won everything there needs to be won except for the Stanley Cup, the gold medal, those specific championships that pretty much cement your name at the top of the mountain of hockey playing stardom. This is a very bizarre situation, and I think Connor McDavid putting himself at the top of the mountain, literally getting all of these awards, being so good in 2012's OHL Cup, 19 points in 7 games back when he was, 14, 15 years old? OHL MVP, 49 points in 20 games with the Erie Otters, only to lose to Cole Castles and the Oshawa Generals in the finals. And yeah, I know exactly that that's the opponent that they lost to, because Cole Castles was the McDavid kryptonite. They shut him down. The evidence was right there 10 years ago. Connor McDavid can score the lights out and win all of these individual trophies for MVPs and most valuable players in tournaments, but his team does not win. How in the world does this happen? Conn Smythe in 2024 Olympic MVP in 2026. His team lost both times. And the funny part is, 2024 lost to the Florida Panthers. Who wins on the other side? Matthew Tkachuk. 2025 lost to the Florida Panthers. Who wins on the other side? Matthew Tkachuk. 2026 Olympics gold medal game loses to Team USA. Who's on the other side? Matthew Ka-freaking-Chuck. Connor McDavid has been second to Matthew Tkachuk in 3 of the most important hockey game series and games of their lives the past 3 years. And that is absolutely ridiculous. Take a look at this tweet by Nikhil. McDavid is the most talented player in NHL history not named Mario Lemieux. But having 0 points in 2 of the biggest games in the last 15 years is inexcusable for a player of his caliber. He's talking about Game 7 Florida 2024, where I believe it was 2-1. That was the score. It was a low-scoring game. McDavid didn't have any points. And then today, gold medal game. Also a 2-1 game. It's only Cale Makar who went out there and scored. Granted, Makar was also a part of the 2 American goals for bad reasons. So he kind of let 2 of them go by him and then he scored 1. So maybe he's a net negative still. But Connor McDavid didn't do much in terms of actually getting onto the score sheet. The least decorated player to ever be mentioned as the greatest of his generation, didn't win in juniors, international juniors, nothing in the national, nothing but the second best in men's international. The guy just isn't a winner. And then Tyler went out there and said this: the narrative around Connor McDavid right now is rightfully earned. The best player in the league that cannot seem to lead his team past the finish line. McDavid has a lot of maturing to do. He needs to temper emotions and remain calm in situations. Going 1-on-3 twice in overtime in a do-or-die game against the best in the world is not true leadership. As of right now, McDavid is the best player in the league, but his reputation is that of a non-winner, and that's earned by him. I said what I said. Heck, Austin Matthews is a winner now. Yeah, he didn't get any points either, but he still went out there and led a team to a gold medal. And I think just being able to say that you won is so much more important than actually contributing points-wise or whatever. And that's the thing. Like, you can say that, oh, if Team Canada just won gold, then we wouldn't be having this conversation about Connor McDavid. Yeah, well, guess what? If Team Canada just won gold, you wouldn't be adding another name to this list of Connor McDavid getting MVPs and whatever, yet still finding ways to lose despite being the best player in those tournaments. Take a look at this reply. I think what separates McDavid from a player like Crosby is that McDavid just doesn't utilize his teammates as much as he should. He tries to do it all. He thinks and plays the game at such a speed and level, but he often doesn't do it in a way to utilize his line mates as efficiently. I mean, look at his assists in his career. I'm pretty sure he does use them and value them, but I do think when it gets to pinch time, crunch time, he forgets they're there sometimes and does the crap like going 1-on-3. And somebody said it on Reddit. We said it in the earlier video in today's show as well. When Connor McDavid had the puck in overtime, it's like he wanted his Sidney Crosby moment. He wanted Chris Cuthbert to call out, oh, this is it, the golden goal for Connor McDavid. He wanted to replicate that feeling from last year's Four Nations. And I understand you could say, oh, well, he got the overtime goal against the U.S. in the Four Nations. It's the Four freaking Nations, bro. Nobody's going to be talking about that. They're going to be looking at the Olympic gold from Team USA, and that is going to be the impressionable, memorable Canada-US showdown that people remember 10 years from now until the next Olympic Games comes and goes. Four Nations, it's like half the gosh darn teams weren't even there. So with all that said, the legacy of Connor McDavid, as much as I hate to say it, as a Canadian dude who is rooting for Canada, this guy's rep has taken a big hit. And compiled with all the other info we have seen over the past few decades even, I do think it's a fair point to bring up that this guy, at this point in his career, he just can't win. Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.